Hello, I'm DanToppy and welcome to Going for Gold, the series where I give you the quickest and easiest way to get the gold camo on any of your weapons in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Today's going to be a little bit different from all the other episodes because today I'm covering the knife. I got that gold just yesterday. I did it in a surprisingly quick time and it's all down to the class that I was using and the playstyle that I was using, so I'm going to tell you that saying you can do it as quickly and as easily as possible, as it's one of the hardest weapons to get gold and you're going to need to get gold if you do want to get the Dark Matter camo. So if you follow what I say, you should be able to do it in about 3 hours. That's how long it took me. You may be able to do it in even less because you don't have to find the class that you need to use and the best game modes and playstyles to be using. So going on to the class that I use, that I think is the best class that you can use with a combat knife, no matter if you're going for the camo or if you're just trying to use it in a game. So what you want is the combat knife, and then you're going to want 5 perks. So in perk 1 you're going to want Afterburner, in perk 2 you're going to want Hardwired and Tracker, and in perk 3 you're going to want Awareness and Dead Silence. This is going to leave you with 2 slots left open and you're going to want to take 2 shock charges in your tactical equipment. Alright, so going on to the reasons why I have chosen these. In perk 1 for the Afterburner, you want to be running that because you are using a combat knife, so you need to be very close up to your enemies, you need to be right behind them. So you need to be using your boosts and your jumps to get up to the enemies to be able to get them kills, and that'll go really well with your perk 3 perks because you won't be able to hear you either. So you can use all your slides and jumps to just get that final little boost onto the enemies, so you can slide up into them and get the kill really easily. And also if an enemy is charging at you, you can often just slide straight into them, they won't expect it, and you can easily get a knife on the chest. In perk 2, of course, we've got 2 perks, and the first one is the Hardwired. The Hardwired basically makes you immune to a lot of the things which are going to kill you really easily in the game. So all proximity based lethal and tactical equipment, so things like the trip mines and the shock charges, you won't get detected by them and they won't set off and blow you up and also give away your position, because you are going to be playing it in close quarter positions, so you are going to want to be fighting the enemies for them. And if they are playing like I am with the tacticals, they're going to have the entrances covered up, so you want to be able to get past them and take control of that position so you can get a lot of the easy kills. And also I've got Tracker. Tracker basically leaves a footprint, it's like a thermal footprint behind the enemies, so that you can track where the enemy's gone and really easily hunt them down and get the kills without them knowing that you're behind them. And in perk 3, I believe these are the most important perks for me, and the first one is Awareness. Awareness makes sure that you can hear all the enemies around you really clearly. This is really good if you are using a headset, and if you are wanting to do really well with this combat knife, you at least need to wear in headphones or a headset just so you can actually hear where the enemies are coming from, because you are going to be really close to them, you need to be right next to them to be able to get the kill, so you do need to know where they are coming from before you actually see them, so that you can be waiting ready for them to get the easy kills, because otherwise they'll have the advantage over you. You need to know where they're coming from so you can get them as soon as they come into sight, because as soon as they see you they'll start shooting and you won't have a chance. And the second perk 3 is Dead Silence. Dead Silence is so important because you are going to be playing so close to the enemies, and if they especially are running Awareness, they'll be able to hear where you are, so you want to stay as quiet as possible so they can't hear where you're coming from. And often, like you'll see in some of these clips, I can just be using the Tracker perk and I'll be able to track the enemies, run right behind them, and they won't be able to hear me before I stab them in the back. So it's a really effective perk to use because they won't know where you're coming from, and it gives you a huge advantage if you are playing in small environments. And the 2 equipment that I've taken I also think are really important, because I recommend that you play on free-for-all just because it's the easiest to get a lot of kills in. You're going to want something to be covering the entrances so that it can alert you to when the enemies are coming up to you, so then you can prepare and get easy kills on them whilst they are stunned. So this is a really useful thing to be running so that you can go up to them and get them easy kills whilst they can't actually retaliate. In this video I'm going to suggest that you run a certain specialist whilst you're playing with the knife, and that's that you run the Hive, because the Hive helps you to cover the entrances you can't watch, and it also means that you can defend that position better, so it's better to just get a few kills with your specialist and miss out on getting them kills with your knife than dying and losing that position to an enemy that it might be quite hard to take back from them. I didn't say before, but for the first 9 camos on this gun you're going to need 200 kills with the knife, and that is going to be the class that you want to be using for those first 9 camos and also the 5 challenge camos, because you don't need to take off any attachments because you can't have any attachments on your gun, and there's no other things that you need to take off or add on, so you can keep running with this same class all the time that you're trying to get the golden camo. So now we'll move on to the 5 challenge camos. These are completely different from any other weapon that I've ever covered, and I've never seen any of these challenges before. I'm not sure if they are on all of the other melee weapons because I haven't actually unlocked any of them from the crypto key cases yet, but we'll have to find them out when I do get it. So the first camo, as usual, is Ardent, and for Ardent this time we need to get 10 backstabber medals with the combat knife. This is where Dead Silence and Afterburner will really come in useful, as well as the Tracker perks. It means you can follow your enemies, track them down, run after them, they won't be able to know where you are, and then when you get close enough to them, slide into the back of them and knife them in the back really easily. So you can either just hope that you'll get these whilst you're doing all the others and then maybe finish them off once you've completed all the others, or you could specifically go for them and chase after the enemies to get the knives, but for me I just waited until I got them whilst I was completing all the other ones. The next camo, Burnt. For Burnt you have to get 5 survivor medals, so to get a survivor medal all you have to do is you have to be hit by an enemy and then knife them. This is again where the sliding with the Afterburner comes in really really useful because enemy will see you, you can slide into them and get a really easy knife onto them, and this will give you a survivor medal. And all you have to do is do this 5 times and you'll have the burnt camo. For the next camo, Bliss, what you have to do is you have to get 5 revenge medals with the combat knife, so you have to wait for the enemies to kill you and then you have to kill them back. And this is another reason why I recommend using free-for-all, just because everyone is an enemy, so as soon as you get killed by them you have a chance of killing them back, because you generally do spawn in the same area as to where you died. The 4th challenge camo is Battle, and Battle should really be one of the hardest, but I got really lucky and I managed to actually do this in 1 life. So for Battle, what you have to do is you have to kill an enemy with your knife, and then you have to pick up their weapon and kill them back 5 times. So you have to earn 5 backfire medals on 1 enemy. You could be really lucky, just how I was, and be able to get them in 1 game, but it's quite unlikely you will do that, so as long as you just kill them and then camp where you are, the enemy will generally come back to you and you can get the kill on them with their own weapon. That's how I did it. I was playing on Splash, you'll see the clip that I'm playing now for it, and I was playing in the ship. I knifed him, I took his gun, and then he's kept on running back to me. I think killed him 6 times in the end in a row, and because of the perks I was using, I knew exactly where he was coming from and he had no idea where I was, so I could get really easy kills on him and he had no clue where I was, so he couldn't kill me. And finally, Chameleon, as usual, it is get 5 kill streaks, gone 5 bloodthirst kill streaks. This is of course one of the hardest, because going on a 5 kill streak with a knife isn't easy, but if you do play in free-for-all, hold down areas, use shock charges and your perks to your advantage, then it should be quite easy. I did it relatively easily, and if you start playing at certain maps one after another, then it will get quite easy, because you will learn the technique that you should be using on that map and how you can get the most kills the easiest way. So there are all my tips on how to complete all the camos, and you can earn the gold camo on the knife in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer. The only things that I've left to talk about is the playstyles that you should be using at certain game modes and game types that you want to be playing in. So you want to play in core, there's absolutely no point in playing in hardcore because it's a 1 knife kill anyway. It doesn't matter which game mode you're playing in, so always go in core, and always play free-for-all like I've said, just because everyone is against you and anyone who runs up to you can kill them, so it means you can be using all your perks and equipment all the time on all the players in the game. Don't be afraid to camp, throw out all your shock charges, sit in corners and wait for the enemies to come to you, because you are using a knife, so you do need to wait for them to come to you. If you do try running around the map, you can get a few kills, but it's very risky and you're more likely to die. And finally, my favourite maps and spots to be playing with the knife to do the best. The first is on Fringe in the second house, not in the barn, the main house, and then you just want to stay up there, throw out your hives, throw out your shock charges, and just wait for the enemies to come to you so you can get the easy kills on them. Sit at the top of the stairs and don't challenge, wait for them to actually run past you, because often, because you're so silent, the enemies won't know that you're there and you can just run it behind them and get the easy kill. And the second spot, if you do have the Season Pass or have bought the Awakening DLC, it is on Splash in the main ship. It's a great spot to hold down because so many players go straight to there, and there's a lot of right angle corners, so you can sit on just the other side of the corner. If you sit very close to the door, as soon as the enemy shows themselves, you can just hit knife and it'll boost you forward and you'll automatically get the kill. So that has been all of my tips on how to get the gold camo on the combat knife in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer the quickest and easiest way possible. This has been probably the longest going for gold episode I have done, but it is the hardest weapon in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 to complete and earn the gold camo for, so there was a lot of tips to tell you. But if you have enjoyed, please make sure you like, comment and subscribe. I think there'll also be another going for gold coming out this week, and that'll be the XR2 assault rifle because someone asked for it, and I have all of the assault rifles and submachine guns in diamond, so I have a lot of them to cover. And if I continue to only bring one out a week, it'll take me a long time. I do want to cover every single gun in the game. So thanks for watching. I am at the moment working on the L card to get that gold to bring you that in the next few weeks. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.